very warm welcome to Midday Prime. Over the next 1 hour, we'll bring you all the stories and updates from India and the world. We will update you about the happenings in the world of business and sports, and we'll get you some interesting stories that are making headlines. But first up, the big news at this hour. Supreme Court cracks the whip on the Unnao rape case, asks CBI to complete probe in the accident case within 7 days. Apex Court may order to shift Unnao rape victim injured in the road accident to Delhi. Supreme Court meeting again now after hearing the CBI officers and counsels to pass orders hearing on transfer of Unnao cases and other aspects soon. BJP expels Kuldeep Singh Sengar from the party, says no place for a person in party who has such serious charges against him. Anti-Triple Talaq Bill gets assent of the President. A law to come into force with retrospective effect from 19th September 2018. The Companies Amendment Act 2019 and the Banning of Unregulated Deposit Schemes Act 2019 also received the assent of the President. Schools, courts and government establishments closed in Vadodara as torrential downpour lashes the city of Gujarat with 18 inches of rainfall. Ahmedabad also experiences waterlogging in many areas. Chief Minister Vijay Rupani takes stock of the situation. In international news, the US Federal Reserve cuts interest rates for the first time since 2008 global recession. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell cites concerns about the global economy and mutes US inflation, leaving the door open to further cuts. And in sports, the inaugural ICC World Test Championship begins today with the first Ashes Test between Australia and England starting at Edgbaston in Birmingham. Now, the big story that we are tracking this afternoon, the Supreme Court adopted a stern stand on investigation in Unnao rape case today. It ordered senior CBI officers to apprise it of the progress made in the investigation in the rape case. It also indicated that the case may be transferred out of Uttar Pradesh as sought by the family of the rape survivor. When Solicitor General Tushar Mehta told the court that officers involved in the investigation are in Lucknow and sought time till 10:30 a.m. tomorrow for a hearing in the matter, the Supreme Court insisted that the CBI director speak to the investigation officer and inform the court about the progress made in the investigation by 12 noon today. That was followed by CBI Joint Director Sampath Meena reaching court. Solicitor General told the court that charge sheet is pending in the case and gave details of FIRs registered against the accused as well as a father of the victim. Father of the victim was arrested in a case related to the Arms Act and later died in custody after being beaten by other inmates. Meanwhile, on the issue of a delay in bringing the letter written by Unnao rape survivor to the court's notice, the Secretary General of the court told it that on an average, the Supreme Court receives 5,800 letters a month, and the registry came to know that a letter was written by the Unnao case victim after media reports highlighted this fact. The Chief Justice of India said that the victim should be shifted to AIIMS if she is in a condition to be moved out from the Lucknow hospital. And for more on this, we are joined by correspondent Vikas Sarthi on the phone line from the Apex Court. Vikas, what were the major highlights of the Supreme Court's observations and all that's happened in court today in this matter?
Well, Munmun, first of the issue which was decided by the CJI that all these cases must be shifted to Delhi from UP, though formal order will be pronounced at 2 p.m. Apart from it, court also sought report from the Secretary General. Secretary General informed that the registry receives almost 5,800 to 6,000 letters every month, and this letter was being examined by the registry to ascertain whether whatever been said in the letter is correct or not. And apart from it, Secretary General informed that they were not aware that this particular letter relates to the victim of the Unnao rape case. So when they came to know by the media reports, they came with this letter and informed the Supreme Court that such a letter was pending before the registry. Apart from it, the Supreme Court has directed CBI to complete the probe in the recent accident case within 7 days and inform the court about the status of this case within 1 week. Though CBI wanted almost 1 month, but Supreme Court was of the opinion that 1 month is not appropriate to complete this probe, and is within 7 days. CBI must complete its probe and inform the court. So far as the other details are concerned, that who will be hearing all these cases in Delhi, this will be known to us only after a formal order, which is supposed to be pronounced at 2 p.m. But Supreme Court was of the view that such cases must be handled with seriousness, because that letter must have been produced before the CJI bench much earlier. Apart from all these issues, the counsel who raised this issue before the CJI bench also pointed out that some exemplary and adequate compensation must also be given to the victim and her family. So all these matters will be decided by the court when it passes the formal order at 2 p.m.
Right, so you are saying that the issue of transfer of trials in all Unnao related cases and possibly an order on compensation of victims in such cases could be pronounced at 2 p.m. Vikas, was there a statement made by the brother of the lawyer who's also been injured in the road accident? I'm referring to the lawyer of the Unnao rape survivor in this case. Give evidence of how threats were issued to them, asking them to withdraw the case filed against Kuldeep Sengar?
Well, all these things have happened in previous hearings. That some counsel said that they have evidences that they were being harassed by the accused. All these things have happened earlier, but as of now, the court is focusing on two or three aspects. First of all, the court is saying that all these cases will be transferred to Delhi, and CBI must conclude this probe within 7 days. These are two major issues which are pending before the court. It is understood that Supreme Court has accepted those issues which were being raised by the victim's family, that they are under much pressure from the accused and his henchmen, and because of that, it feels proper that these cases must be transferred to Delhi.
Vikas, the Supreme Court also inquire if the Unnao rape survivor can be shifted out of the Lucknow hospital where she is to Delhi for further treatment, and also her lawyer, who's also critical?
Yes, Munmun. CJ inquired about the current condition of the victim and her lawyer, and court was of the opinion that if it is possible, then both these people must be shifted to AIIMS from King George Medical College. Solicitor General informed the court that at present both are on ventilator. After that, CJI inquired that they must ascertain whether they are in a position to move from King George Medical College to AIIMS. Now we will know that what report CBI will have come with. But it is very clear that CJI also inquired about the present condition of the victim.
Can we also, Vikas, expect directions from the Supreme Court today with regard to protection of victims and also witnesses?
Well, protection was already given to the victim. The UP police had deployed some policemen, which was supposed to give enough security to the victim and her family. So the protection was already given. Now CBI will examine whether this protection is adequate or not, and if something much is needful to do, then CBI will certainly inform the court.
Right, Vikas, we'll keep coming back to you for more updates. You are saying that the Supreme Court is expected to pronounce its order any time now with regard to transfer of various Unnao related cases from Uttar Pradesh to Delhi. We'll keep you posted on that as and when more developments take place. Meanwhile, the BJP has expelled its jailed Uttar Pradesh lawmaker Kuldeep Sengar, who is accused of raping a minor girl from Unnao. The action came days after the girl was critically injured and two of her aunts died in an accident in Uttar Pradesh. The family alleged that the accident was an attempt to kill her.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी में ऐसा किसी व्यक्ति के लिए जगह नहीं है जिनके खिलाफ बहुत ही संगीन आरोप हैं। जो पीड़िता है उनकी सिक्योरिटी को लेकर सवाल उठते हैं, उन पर इस प्रकार का जो एक्सीडेंट जो हुआ है उसको लेकर कई प्रश्न उठते हैं, तो कोई बर्दाश्त करने की स्थिति में पार्टी नहीं है। तो जो भी गलत काम करते हैं उन सबको पार्टी से बाहर करेगी। ये पहली बार मैसेज नहीं दे रही है भारतीय जनता पार्टी। गलत बयानी पर भी प्रधानमंत्री जी ने किस प्रकार रिस्पॉन्ड किया तो देश ने देखा है।
Uttar Pradesh Women Commission Chief Vimla Batham today met the family members of Unnao rape survivor in Lucknow's KG Medical College. Later talking to reporters, Batham said that the UP government is providing all possible help to the Unnao rape survivor.
विक्टिम और लॉयर दोनों ही इस समय जो है वेंटिलेटर पर नहीं है। कल दोपहर से वेंटिलेटर पर नहीं है। पोजीशन हम ये नहीं कह सकते इम्प्रूवमेंट है, लेकिन डिटोरिएशन भी नहीं है। बिना वेंटिलेटर के अगर डिटोरिएशन नहीं है तो ये एक बहुत बड़ी अच्छा संकेत है। पूरी मदद के लिए तैयार है योगी सरकार, और जो भी इलाज जो दी बेस्ट इलाज होगा वो इलाज यहाँ होगा, और जो भी उसके लिए फायदेमंद होगा वो सारे काम योगी सरकार करेगी।
And now our correspondent is joining us from Lucknow on the phone line, आशुतोष शुक्ला। आशुतोष, बाकी मुद्दों के बारे में बात करेंगे हम, लेकिन पहले आप ये बताइए कि आपको क्या जानकारी मिल रही है कि जो अभी उन्नाव रेप सर्वाइवर है उनकी स्थिति कैसी है?
देखिए, जहाँ तक स्थिति की बात है, स्थिति अब भी गंभीर है, लेकिन ये नहीं कहा जा सकता है कि खतरे से बाहर है। लेकिन जिस तरह से पिछले 2 दिनों से लगातार पीड़िता को जो है और उनके अभियुक्ता को जो है वेंटिलेटर पर रखा गया है, वेंटिलेटर सपोर्ट हटाया गया है, और उसके बाद भी पीड़िता की अभी भी स्थिति जो है वो गंभीर बनी हुई है। आज जैसा कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट का निर्णय था कि 2 बजे तक जो है उसकी मेडिकल स्थिति के बारे में और साथ में जो है यहाँ से एम्स में शिफ्ट किए जाने को लेकर के कहा गया था, उसके बारे में जो अस्पताल के सूत्र है, हमारी थोड़ी देर पहले बात हुई थी, तो उसमें इस बात को लेकर के जरूर चर्चा थी डॉक्टरों में कि अगर स्थिति ठीक रहती है तो इन्हें एम्स जो है शिफ्ट किया जा सकता है। अभी क्या अंतिम रूप से उन्होंने निर्णय लिया है इसके बारे में जानकारी नहीं हो सकी है, लेकिन जो है स्थिति ये है कि अभी भी पीड़िता और उसके अभियुक्ता की जो है हालत गंभीर बनी हुई है।
आशुतोष, भाजपा ने ये निर्णय लिया है कि कुलदीप सेंगर को एक्सपेल किया जाए, इसके क्या मायने हैं?
देखिए, जिस तरीके से पूरा मामला जो है सामने आया है, आज से कई दिनों पहले जब सेंगर को अरेस्ट किया गया था इस रेप कांड में, तो उन्हें निलंबित भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने किया था, और उस निलंबन के बाद जब ये दूसरी बार यह दुर्घटना हुई है रायबरेली में, जिसमें गवाह की मौत हुई है, उसको लेकर के फिर से पार्टी के अध्यक्ष सामने आए थे और उन्होंने कहा था कि चूंकि ये निलंबन ऑलरेडी है उनका, इसलिए दोबारा निलंबित किए जाने की जरूरत नहीं है। लेकिन मामला बढ़ता देख भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने सेंगर से पूरी तरह से अपना किनारा कर लिया है, उन्हें पार्टी से निकाल दिया गया है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के ना अब वो सदस्य हैं और न भारतीय जनता पार्टी के विधायक हैं, क्योंकि जिस तरह से एक पीड़ित के प्रति जो है इनका व्यवहार रहा है विधायक का, वह निश्चित रूप से निंदनीय ही नहीं है। पूरे समाज में जो है इसको लेकर के कहीं न कहीं जो सेंगर के प्रति जो है लोगों का भाव बना है, उस भाव से भारतीय जनता पार्टी अपना पिंड छुड़ाना चाहती थी और इसीलिए उनको जो है पार्टी से निकाल दिया गया है। ये मन
जी आशुतोष, क्या आपके पास जानकारी है कि जो कांस्टेबल्स थे जो सिक्योरिटी दे रहे थे उन्नाव रेप सर्वाइवर को, उनके खिलाफ भी कोई एक्शन हुआ है?
बिल्कुल, उन्नाव के पुलिस अधीक्षक ने जो भी सुरक्षा में लगाए गए थे सुरक्षाकर्मी पीड़िता के साथ, उनको सबको निलंबित कर दिया है, और निलंबन के साथ ही इस पूरे मामले की जांच की जा रही है कि उस वक्त पीड़ित के साथ जो है वो पुलिसकर्मी क्यों नहीं मौजूद थे।
जी आशुतोष। So Ashutosh Shukla, correspondent from Lucknow, giving us the details, saying that the condition of the victim as well as the lawyer of the victim, both of whom were grievously injured in recent car accident, is critical. Besides that, also telling us that 4 constables who were responsible for providing security to the Unnao rape survivor have been suspended, and that the BJP has taken a decision to expel Kuldeep Singh from the party itself in order to underline its zero tolerance approach towards such heinous crimes. Let's take a look at the timeline of the case so far. Well, on the 4th of June 2017, a 17-year-old girl was allegedly raped by BJP MLA, and he's now been expelled from the party, Kuldeep Singh Sengar, at his house. On the 11th of June 2017, the girl goes missing and her family members lodge a police complaint. On the 20th of June 2017, The girl was found in a village in Oraya, from where she was brought back to Unnao. On 22nd June 2017, the survivor alleged that the local police stopped her from naming the BJP MLA in her statement. On the 3rd of July 2017, she moved to Delhi to her uncle's place. The girl's family dispatched a letter to the Chief Minister demanding registration of an FIR against Kuldeep Singh Sengar and his brother Atul Singh. So this is what you're seeing on the 3rd of July. She moved to Delhi to her uncle's place. The girl's family dispatched a letter to the Chief Minister demanding registration of an FIR against Kuldeep Singh Sengar and his brother Atul Singh. So there were several hurdles that the Unnao rape survivor and her family encountered during the process of even filing an FIR. The survivor's mother moved the court demanding that names of Sengar and his brother be included in the FIR. On the 3rd of April 2018, the girl's father was beaten up by the MLA's brother Atul Singh Sengar. A police complaint was filed, after which AK Singh, the father, was sent to jail on 4th April in connection with an Arms Act case. On 8th April, the case came to the light after the survivor and her family tried to immolate herself outside the Chief Minister's residence, alleging police inaction against the accused. So there have been several twists and turns with regard to the Unnao rape case. On the 9th of April 2018, the father died in judicial custody due to alleged police torture. On the 10th of April 2018, the MLA's brother Atul Singh Sengar was arrested along with 4 others by the UP crime branch for allegedly thrashing the girl's father. So that's how more and more twists and turns kept coming up in this case. A special investigation team was formed to probe the alleged rape case as well as the custodial death of the father. Following a public uproar, the state government transferred the case to the CBI. Then in its first charge sheet in the Unnao cases, the CBI charged 5 people, including Sengar's brother, of murdering the rape survivor's father. That's when the first charge sheet was filed on the 7th of July. Then on 11 July, in the rape case, the agency filed a charge sheet against Sengar and Shashi Singh, while in the case of the rape victim's father's death, and the CBI filed a charge sheet against 5 people, including the MLA's brother. On 13th July, in the third case, the CBI filed a charge sheet against Sengar and 9 others for allegedly hatching a conspiracy and implicating the rape survivor's father in an Arms Act case. Then on the 4th of July, the uncle of the girl is convicted in a 19-year-old case of attempt to murder and sent to 10 years of imprisonment by district court. The case was filed by Sengar's brother Atul Singh. On 28th of July, the rape survivor and her lawyer were critically injured and 2 of her aunts were killed when the car in which they were travelling collided with a truck in Guru Bakhsh Ganj area of Raebareli. One of the deceased aunts was a key witness in this case, and that is why the Supreme Court could well give some directions with regard to providing protection to not just victims but also witnesses. 29th July, a fresh FIR was lodged against BJP MLA Kuldeep Singh Sengar along with 29 others for criminal conspiracy to kill the survivor and the eyewitnesses. CJ Ranjan Gogoi miffed at poor handling with regard to the letter that the Unnao rape victim had written to the Chief Justice of India on the 1st of August, that is today. BJP expelled accused MLA Kuldeep Sengar. Supreme Court asked CBI to complete crash probe in 7 days. So we'll keep you posted on more developments as they pan out in the Supreme Court or from Uttar Pradesh or from the CBI. For now, we'll take a break, and after the break, we'll tell you about all that is happening in Parliament.
खबरें कठोर इरादों की, खबरें अनगिनत हौसलों की, खबरें सपनों की ऊंची उड़ानों की, खबरें सोच बदलने की, खबरें असंभव से आगे निकल जाने की।
गुड न्यूज इंडिया जरूर देखता हूँ और वहाँ में पता चलता है कि हमारे देश के किस किस कोने में कितने कितने लोग किस किस प्रकार से अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं।
सकारात्मक सोच, सकारात्मक खबरें।
And now there's breaking news coming in from the Supreme Court in the Unnao rape case. The Supreme Court has ordered the trial in all the 5 cases related to Unnao be transferred out of Uttar Pradesh to Delhi. The Supreme Court has also ordered the trial court to hear the case on a day-to-day basis and to complete the trial within 45 days. So 3 main news points emerging from the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court transferring all the 5 cases relating to Unnao rape case from Uttar Pradesh to Delhi. And for more on this, our correspondent Vikas is joining us. Vikas, 3 main orders coming in from the Supreme Court now. Give us more details.
Right, Munmun, CJ is still pronouncing the order, but so far the major points are that all 5 cases have been transferred from Uttar Pradesh to Delhi. CJ specifically told that we will nominate a judge, which is not possible right now. When the order will come on the Supreme Court website, then we will be able to know that who will be the special judge to hear all these cases. But CJI clearly said that we will nominate a particular judge. And apart from it, court has said that when the trial starts, it must go on day-to-day basis, and within 45 days, it is expected that the trial will be completed by the lower court. Apart from it, again Supreme Court has said that so far the recent incident is concerned of the accident. That probe must be completed within 7 days. So, and the other issue, the rape case and the gang rape complaint, in those cases, the trial must be completed within 45 days. So these are the 3 major points, though CJI is still dictating the order. And meanwhile, the Solicitor General informed that if possible, there is a possibility that the victim and the lawyer can be shifted to Delhi. And if family desires that both the victim and her lawyer be shifted to Delhi, then there is no problem. They are stable, medically stable. They can be shifted to AIIMS. And apart from it, Solicitor General also informed about the details of CBI probe so far. Some new information which has been coming in. So all these have happened, and CJI is still dictating the order. And certainly he will also talk about the compensation and the appropriate security to the victim and the family and her lawyer as well. All those aspects are still being dictated by the CJI.
Right, Vikas, can you give us a breakup of the 5 cases which will now be tried in Delhi and not in Uttar Pradesh?
Well, out of 5, there are 3 major cases. There is a case of rape against the accused. Apart from it, there was an FIR of gang rape also, which was filed by the complainant. There was a 3rd FIR which was filed against the father of the victim, where that was a case of armed sex, in which the father of the victim was arrested, though later he died when some inmate attacked him inside the lockup. So one FIR related to that armed sex case, and the other is related to the attack which occurred on the victim's father. So these are 4 major FIRs which were registered by the local police, and now all these cases has been transferred to the CBI, as well as all the trial related to these cases also shifted to the Delhi court. Who will be the judge? Supreme Court will give the name of that judge in written order when it will be uploaded on Supreme Court website. But it is very clear that generally High Court decides that who will be the judge. But today CJI clearly mentioned that we will nominate a judge for all these cases.
Vikas, will the special CBI court in Delhi be trying this case?
Right, Munmun, the special CBI court will be trying all these 5 cases. All these 5 cases have been transferred to the Delhi, and whatever proceedings will occur only will take place in this special court, the special CBI designated court.
Vikas, if I heard you correctly, you said that the Solicitor General told the Supreme Court that the condition of the victim of Unnao rape is stable, and if the family is of the opinion that the victim should be transferred for treatment from Lucknow to Delhi, then they are open to it. But can we expect a direction from the court in this regard, or will it be kept open-ended?
Well, court is of the view that she must be given best medical facilities, and because of that, court inquired that aspect, that whether the victim and her lawyer can be shifted to AIIMS. Right now, they are in a medical college cum hospital in Lucknow. But court wanted to know that what are the medical facilities available there, and if necessary, then both the persons, the victim and her lawyer, can be shifted to AIIMS. The question was whether they are in such a position, whether they are medically fit to transfer from Lucknow to AIIMS. So the Solicitor General has informed that they are stable and they can be shifted to AIIMS if their family desires so.
Vikas, will all these 5 cases be tried by the same court and will trial in all these cases have to be completed in 45 days?
Well, as of now, it seems so that all these cases will be heard by one judge, and the deadline is set for both these cases. Munmun, are connected. There is a rape case, and there is a case registered against the same accused for gang rape. Though there are some other person also named in the gang rape case, then all these cases are interconnected, and it is very likely that all these cases will be heard by the same judge, all these 5 cases.
Right, Vikas, with regard to the investigation in the rape case, I understand that 3 charge sheets have already been filed by the CBI and trial had not begun in the special CBI court in Lucknow. Can you give us the latest with regard to the investigation in this case, the trial in which had not begun?
Right, Munmun. Charges were yet to be framed against the accused. Today, Solicitor General informed the court that there is a Supreme Court order in which the court said that cases against MPs and MLAs must be tried in a separate designated court. That court had not been set up in Unnao yet. So all these cases were being heard by a POCSO court. So court wanted to know that why POCSO court is hearing this case. So that was the reason that special designated courts are yet to be created in Lucknow and the place of occurrence. So now all these cases will be shifted to a special CBI designated court, and there will all these things which were pending, like framing of charges and other aspects, will be taken care of by the special CBI court.
Because there are some media reports that are emerging saying that the Supreme Court has directed the UP government to provide interim compensation of 25 lakh rupees to the Unnao rape survivor. Any confirmation that you're getting on that? Because the question of compensation, like you've been telling us, did come up before the Supreme Court when it expressed dismay over the situation.
Yes, Munmun, as I'm talking to you, CGI was still dictating the order, and it is very likely that the reports which are being quoted are correct. Because in the morning as well, the amicus curiae said that an exemplary and adequate compensation must be given to not only to the victim but the injured counsel as well. So in all probability, Supreme Court must have ordered a compensation of 25 lakh rupees. But I'm still outside the court number 1. The order still being dictated. So it is very possible that the court has directed UP government to provide 25 lakh rupees to victim, and we will have to see that what kind of compensation has been given to the counsel, or has he been given same amount, or there is some difference in the compensation amount.
Because there are also media reports emerging that the court has ordered security to be given to the Unnao rape survivor as well as her lawyer, both of whom are now critical.
Well, security was already being given to the victim as well as to the counsel. When this incident happened, the security personnel were not with the victim nor with the counsel. So that aspect had already been covered. The security was already being given to the victim. So Supreme Court must have said again to the UP government to ensure that such kind of incident doesn't happen again, and UP government must provide adequate security to both the victim as well as her counsel.
Vikas, with regard to the investigation going forward, what are the aspects that the CBI will need to consider now, because the CBI is investigating the rape case as well as the accident case at least, and Would the CBI be investigating the other cases as well? For instance, the Arms Act that you had mentioned and the case of intimidation. And what will be the logical move forward of the CBI in all these cases with regard to investigation, where the investigation is yet to be completed?
Munmun, all these 5 cases, all these 5 FIRs, all have been transferred to the CBI. So CBI will be probing all aspects of it. That what was the behind the, because it was found that the Arms Act complaint was false. So was there any conspiracy to frame the father of the victim? And an FIR was also lodged in that aspect also. So all these issues will be taken care of by the CBI. All these 5 cases will be probed by the CBI. Though the major issue is that the main complaint of rape and gang rape case. Apart from it, now this truck accident issue is also being investigated by the CBI. So these are the 3 major cases, and all the connected matters will also be probed by the CBI.
Vikas, there are some more details emerging from the court, and one of the reports is saying that the UP government has been ordered by the court to pay 25 lakh rupees compensation to Unnao rape victim by tomorrow. So that interim compensation, according to those media reports, need to be paid by the UP government to the rape survivor by tomorrow itself. So it seems that a deadline of 24 hours has been set already by the Supreme Court.
Well, Munmun, compensation will have to be paid by the state government because responsibility lies there. Whatever has happened during the pendency of an ongoing case, an ongoing trial. So the liability lies with the UP government, because when this incident happened, security provided by the state government was not with the victim, nor with the lawyer of the victim. So Supreme Court has fixed the responsibility of the state government and has asked the state government to pay this compensation. As you were saying, that deadline has been fixed for 24 hours, though these are not big things for state government. They can expedite that process. But since I was outside the court,
yes,
so
I'm
not able to say whether it is 24 hours or there is some other kind of deadline has been set by the court.
Okay, Vikas, media reports also emerging that the UP government has to inform the Supreme Court tomorrow if the uncle of the victim should also be shifted to Tihar from a jail in Raebareli as he apprehends danger there. So this could also be a possibility that the Supreme Court has ordered the UP government to inform it by tomorrow whether the uncle of the rape survivor, and we know that the rape survivor was trying to visit the uncle only in Raebareli jail when that accident took place. So now the family of the rape survivor perhaps wants the uncle of the rape survivor, who is currently lodged in Raebareli jail, to be shifted to Tihar jail because he apprehends a threat to his security in Raebareli jail.
Right, Munmun. The reason behind all this fear is that when the father of the victim was in lockup, he was attacked by the inmates. Nobody knows that who were behind those inmates who attacked victim's father, and in fact he died of those injuries. So because of whatever happened in the past, now family wants that the uncle of the victim should also be shifted outside Uttar Pradesh. UP government will reply, and after that Supreme Court will pass appropriate orders. The Supreme Court feels that it is necessary to transfer him as well to some other jail other than any jail in Uttar Pradesh. Then certainly Supreme Court will pass appropriate orders.
Absolutely, Vikas. We'll leave you now to enable you to get more updates from the Apex Court. But a big decision coming in the Unnao rape case, as well as all the other cases related to the Unnao rape survivor. The Supreme Court transferring the trial in that case, in all the 5 cases related to Unnao, from Uttar Pradesh to Delhi. The trial needs to be completed within 45 days. It seems that a special CBI court in Delhi would now be trying all those 5 cases. The trial in all those 5 cases needs to be completed in 45 days. And of course, the Supreme Court needs to be told about the latest investigation progress with regard to the accident case. That accident investigation needs to be completed in 7 days, and the court needs to be informed on that. That order had come in earlier. Well, we'll keep you posted on that as and when more details emerge from the Supreme Court. Let's move on now. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan today moved the National Medical Commission Bill 2019 for consideration and passing in Rajya Sabha. The bill has already been passed by Lok Sabha. The bill seeks to repeal the Indian Medical Council Act 1956. It is aimed at providing a medical education that improves access to quality and affordable medical education. Moving the bill, Health Minister termed the legislation as the biggest reform in the field of medical education.
This bill is aimed at a rapid expansion of medical seats while maintaining quality of medical education and reducing the cost of medical education. The need is to spur investment in the medical education sector by simplifying procedures and focusing on outcomes instead. It is not in any way meant to inconvenience students, but to facilitate provision of better quality of education to more and more students at reasonable fees. The NMC bill seeks to put in place a new structure to tackle the challenges in medical education effectively.
So, the National Medical Commission Bill was moved for consideration and passing by Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan in Rajya Sabha. It has already been passed by Lok Sabha earlier, but the question that arises is that why is a National Medical Commission needed in India? What was the problem with the current setup with regard to regulation of medical education and practice, and why is it required? Objectives of the National Medical Commission Bill 2019 are on your screens. It seeks to improve access to quality and affordable medical education and ensure that there is better regulation of medical education and practice. It seeks to address a shortage of medical professionals in the country. This has been a continuing problem for very long. It tries to ensure availability of adequate and high quality medical professionals across India. So it tries to address both the aspects of quantity and quality of medical professionals, seeks to tackle corruption in medical education. Remember, the MCI had aimed a very bad name with regard to that. It seeks to replace inefficient MCI, the Medical Council of India, with National Medical Commission. So the MCI will cease to exist. Encourages medical professionals to adapt latest medical research and contribute to research so that the quality of medical education can be improved and practice also going forward. Periodic and transparent assessment of medical institutions will be done by the NMC. Besides that, it facilitates maintenance of a medical register for India. So there would be a tab on the number of professionals that are coming in. Enforces high ethical standards in all aspects of medical services. In this aspect, India has been wanting because of the performance of the MCI. Effective grievance redressal mechanism would also be there. So the various doctors will be able to put forth their grievances for redressal. Provisions of the National Medical Commission Bill 2019 for autonomous bodies for conducting undergraduate, postgraduate education, assessment and accreditation and other aspects. Government to make guidelines for fees for 50% seats in private medical colleges. So government will be making guidelines for fees for 50% seats in private medical colleges. Common entrance exam and exit exam that medical graduates will need to give in order to get into PG education or postgraduate education. Need to pass before practicing or pursuing PG courses. This is with regard to that common entrance exam. Recognized medical institutions don't need regulators not to add seats or start PG course, so there will be a sense of autonomy that will be there and less red tape. Bridge course allowing alternative medical practitioners to prescribe modern drugs. So with this bridge course, various alternative medical practitioners will be able to practice and will be able to prescribe modern drugs as well. So those were the details with regard to the National Medical Commission Bill. We've told you about the objectives of the bill. We've also told you about the reasons why this bill is desirable in India and the provisions of the National Medical Commission Bill 2019. Well, the Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman today moved the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Amendment Bill 2019 for consideration and passing in Lok Sabha. Moving the bill, Finance and Corporate Affairs Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that the amendments proposed in the bill aim to ensure timely admission and completion of corporate insolvency resolution process.
The main purpose of the bill is to further the object of the code, which is to ensure insolvency resolution of corporate debtors in a time-bound manner and for the maximization of the value of assets of such debtors.
We'll take a break now and be back with more news.
जो लोग अपने इरादों से हर मुश्किल पार कर जाते हैं, गुड न्यूज़ इंडिया में हम जो भी देखते हैं उससे हम रिफ्रेश हो जाते हैं।
हर पल नई उम्मीद, नया हौसला दे जाते हैं।
एफर्ट डालना चाहिए कि थोड़ा एक पॉजिटिव वार मतलब शुरू करना चाहिए।
ऐसे गुमनाम नायक गुड न्यूज इंडिया का हिस्सा बन जाते हैं।
एनकरेजमेंट मिलेगा, बच्चों को कुछ पॉजिटिविटी मिलेगा, कुछ इंस्पिरेशन मिलेगा।
आई अप्रिशिएट दैट चैनल की एक अच्छा प्रोग्राम लेके आए हैं पॉजिटिव थिंकिंग और पॉजिटिव न्यूज़ पे।
जब भी मौका मिलता है तो दूरदर्शन पर गुड न्यूज इंडिया इस कार्यक्रम को जरूर देखता हूँ और मैं तो देशवासियों से भी अपील करूंगा कि गुड न्यूज इंडिया भी हमने देखना चाहिए।
खुशियों का ये आधा घंटा आपसे उम्मीद करता है कि आपके आसपास भी अगर ऐसे नायक हैं तो आप हमसे जरूर साझा करें।
Welcome back. The flood situation in Assam and Bihar has improved as water levels in the major rivers showed a receding trend. In Assam, water levels of all the major rivers as well as its tributaries showing a receding trend. Water level is also receding in Vadodara Wildlife Sanctuary and Kaziranga National Park. Let's go across now to the Supreme Court where
transferred to CBI court at Delhi. That is the first direction. Second direction is they directed the CBI to find out the medical condition of the victim as well as the health condition of the advocate who received injuries in the accident. And the court also directed us to take the consent of the victim's family. If for better facilities, if they want them to be shifted to Delhi, we will pass a directive only after taking instruction from the family members as well as finding out their health condition. They will pass orders tomorrow. So far as shifting of Chacha of the victim is concerned, Mahesh Singh, he is in jail in Raibari jail. He is undergoing sentence there, and we said his life is also under threat. May not be, there is a risk factor also. So we made a request to the court to shift him from Raibari jail to Tihari jail in Delhi. In that connection also, they asked the CBI counsel to take instruction. So on these two issues, tomorrow the court will pass orders. So far as the shifting of patients concerned and shifting of the Chacha of the victim is concerned. So far as compensation is concerned, the court directed to pay 25 lakhs as an interim compensation to the victim by tomorrow. These are the directions. Yeah, I represented the victim.
Your name, sir?
D. Ramakrishna Reddy.
So, D. Ramakrishna Reddy there, a counsel in the Unnao rape case, informing the media about the major decisions taken by the court. He said that the court has ordered the UP government to award an interim compensation of 25 lakh rupees by tomorrow to the Unnao rape survivor. Besides that, saying that two key decisions will be taken by the Supreme Court tomorrow. One is with regard to shifting of the Unnao rape survivor and her lawyer from Lucknow to Delhi for treatment. That order is expected tomorrow. Also, the Supreme Court is expected to rule on whether the uncle of the Unnao rape survivor is currently lodged in Raibari jail should be shifted to Tihar jail, because he has said that he apprehends threat to his safety. So those judgments will only come in tomorrow. Well, we were discussing the flood situation, and in Bihar, 13 districts continued to remain under water, affecting 88.46 lakh people. The worst affected districts are Sitamarhi and Madhubani, which account for most casualties. Met Department has forecast light rainfall in the catchment areas of all the rivers. The number of rivers, however, flowing above the danger mark level has reduced to 4 from 5. In Maharashtra, heavy rains continued to pummel western Maharashtra through the day yesterday, affecting traffic in Kolhapur, Sangli and parts of Pune city. Incessant rain in the past 72 hours have resulted in 4 major dams in Pune district overflowing. Bihar Lake, that supplies water to Mumbai residents, is overflowing. This is the 4th lake in the city to overflow. The Met Department has predicted heavy to very heavy rainfall at few places during the entire week for Konkan and parts of South Madhya Maharashtra. In Chhattisgarh, State Disaster Response Force is undertaking rescue and relief work in the backdrop of incessant rainfall and floods in the area in the city of Jagdalpur. Heavy rain slashed several parts in Gujarat as Vadodara came to a standstill due to waterlogging at many places. Ahmedabad too received heavy showers in the evening, bringing traffic to a standstill. River Vishwamitri that flows through Vadodara is just a couple of feet below the danger level.
Incessant torrential downpours since yesterday morning flooded major parts of Vadodara city of Gujarat. The rainfall brought much needed respite for people but caused waterlogging at several places. Waterlogging was also witnessed in Navrangpura areas of Ahmedabad due to heavy rainfall. People were either stranded in office or had to wait back home through flooded streets. Road traffic not only in the city but entire highway between Vadodara and Surat cities leading to Mumbai was majorly disrupted with traffic jams at several places. Teams of National Disaster Response Force and State Disaster Response Force are deployed in North and South Gujarat and Saurashtra region to relocate people to safer places who are residing in low-lying areas marooned in rainwaters. The state has also activated flood monitoring control rooms in all districts. All government, private and Vadodara Municipal Corporation run schools are closed for today. All courts including Taluka courts are also closed. As a result of heavy waterlogging in and around runway, Vadodara airport has been shut from 4:30 p.m. yesterday. The airport, however, is expected to resume functioning from 3 p.m. onwards today. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Vijay Rupani held high-level review meeting to review the situation in Vadodara. He also visited State Control Office in Gandhinagar to take stock of the situation. Further, Met Department has predicted widespread rainfall across the city till Sunday. Due to strong wind and rough weather along Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa coast, fishermen have been advised not to venture into sea. Bureau Report, DD News.
The news of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's upcoming debut on Discovery's usually popular show Man vs. Wild has taken the social media by storm. What started with a tweet by survivalist and adventurer Bear Grylls announcing the upcoming Discovery exclusive Man vs. Wild with Bear Grylls and PM Modi with the hashtag PM Modi on Discovery soon turned into a Twitter storm with over 1.2 billion impressions on Twitter. PM Modi on Discovery happens to be one of the most used hashtags on Twitter to promote a television show ever, according to Discovery. In a span of less than 12 hours since the tweet first made an appearance, the hashtag has reached a mind-boggling 728 million people. So PM Modi on Discovery is trending on Twitter, reached a record 728 million people. And in Midday Prime, it's time for news and updates from the world of business. My colleague Shubhendu joins us now with all the business updates. Shubhendu, it's over to you.
Right, thanks Munmun. Welcome to Business Prime. Let's talk about some positive news on the domestic front. India's manufacturing activity strengthened in July, led by improved output and new orders. A survey has showed that the Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index, PMI, rose to 52.5 in July as against 52.1 in June. This optimism has come at a time when the performance of 8 key industrial sectors, as represented by the core sector data, touched a 50-month low. This index is prepared on the basis of a survey which was conducted among purchasing executives in over 400 companies. An index over 50 implies expansion, while an index below 50 meant contraction. Growth was primarily driven by domestic demand, with growth in export orders slowing to its lowest level in 15 months. Meanwhile, US Federal Reserve has cut the interest rates for the first time since 2008, citing concerns about the global economy and the muted US inflation. It also signaled a readiness to lower the borrowing costs further if needed. Financial markets had widely expected the quarter percentage point rate cut, which lowered the US Central Bank's benchmark overnight lending rate to a target range of 2% to 2.25%. In a statement at the end of its latest two-day policy meeting, the Fed said that it had decided to cut rates in light of implications of global developments for the economic outlook as well as muted inflation pressures.
It is intended to ensure against downside risks from weak global growth and trade policy uncertainty, to help offset the effects these factors are currently having on the economy, and to promote a faster return of inflation to our symmetric 2% objective. All of these objectives will support achievement of our overarching goal to sustain the expansion with a strong job market and inflation close to our objective for the benefit of the American people.
Meanwhile, Dow and S&P 500 suffered their biggest daily percentage drop since May 31st on Wednesday after the Federal Reserve cut interest rates for the first time in about a decade. But remarks by Fed Chair Jerome Powell dampened the expectations for further cuts going forward based on the latest available data. Dow Jones Industrial Average, as we mentioned, has fell to 336.26 points, 1.24% that is, to 26,861. The S&P 500 lost 33.07 points or 1.10% to 2,980, and Nasdaq Composite dropped by 98.20 points or 1.19% to 8,175. Meanwhile, in the domestic markets, benchmark indices are trading at the day's low level, with Sensex breached 37,000 for the first time since March 14. At noon, when the data was taken, Sensex was down 460.03 points at 37,021.09, while Nifty was down 137.10 points at 10,980. All the sectoral indices are trading in the red, led by metal, pharma, bank, IT, infra, auto, FMCG, and energies. The impact of the Federal Reserve rate cut we also see in the domestic market. Those were the highlights from the world of business and finance. Munmun, it's back to you.
Thank you, Shubhendu, for that. And now let's take a look at what's making news across the globe. An Ebola epidemic in eastern DR Congo sharply widened on Wednesday, the eve of the first anniversary of the outbreak, with one death and another diagnosis reported, and the quarantining of 15 people in a previously unaffected province. A total of 1,803 lives have been lost in the second worst outbreak of Ebola on record, according to figures released on Wednesday. An Ebola response official said the third confirmed case was the one-year-old daughter of the second coma patient, a father of 10 who had died at the same center earlier in the week. Two repo men in San Diego have impounded thousands of electric scooters, they say, have been left scattered about the city, endangering pedestrians, sparking a battle with companies that have flooded cities with the two-wheelers. John Hinn Kale and Dan Borelli operate a small outfit called Scoot Scoop. They use a flatbed truck to tow away scooters, they say, have been left improperly around the city. In just over a year of operations, they have impounded more than 12,500 electric scooters. The electric scooter companies have responded by suing them in California state court and accused them of unlawfully taking their vehicles. The battle between the repo men and the scooter companies underscores the chaotic legal landscape. Supporters of electric scooters say they provide an opportunity for cities to cut down on car traffic. Scoot Scoop claims the right to impound scooters under California law when they are improperly parked on private property, and it invoices the scooter companies at least $50 per vehicle to return them. Scoot Scoop plans to auction off some scooters if it does not get paid. And it's time for stories from the world of sports. My colleague, in fact, Anil Thomas, joins us now with the latest sports updates. It's over to you, Anil.
Thank you, Munmun. Well, first up, England returned to Fortress Edgbaston for the first test against Australia, looking to round off an already memorable season by completing a World Cup and Ashes double. Hosts England haven't lost to Aussies at home for 18 years and are on a high post their maiden World Cup triumph at home. Australia, on the other hand, have not won an away Ashes series since 2001. This is a renewal of Test cricket's oldest rivalry, but this time around, there is arguably more at stake for both sides than the series result.
The oldest rivalry in international cricket history is set to resume, with England and Australia locking horns in the first test of the Ashes series in Birmingham on August 1st. The test match will also mark the beginning of World Test Championship, ICC's dream project, which had been in the pipeline for some time. Australia are the holders of the Ashes urn after they won the last series at home 4-0 against England. The most famous trophy in the sport has been won by Australia 33 times, while England are just behind with 32 and are looking like favourites to reclaim it in September. The Ashes series has been played a total of 70 times in 346 tests, with Australia winning a total of 144 as compared to England's 108 matches. 94 tests have ended in draw. Apart from a trophy, the winning team will get the urn which contains the mythical remains of England cricket. England are riding high on the confidence before heading into the Ashes after just having been crowned world champions. Australia, who were knocked out by England in the semi-finals of the World Cup, will be looking to exact revenge, albeit in the longest format. Sports Desk, DD News.
Well, soccer's world governing body FIFA on the week approved the expansion of the Women's World Cup from the existing 24 teams to 32 for the 2023 edition and reopened the bidding process for the potential hosts. The tournament has steadily increased the number of participating teams from 12 in the first edition in 1991 to 24 teams in the last two editions. The expansion will mean it will now be on par with the men's tournament, which has had 32 teams since 1998. 9 countries have so far submitted bid to host the games in 2023. That includes Argentina, Australia, Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia, Japan, New Zealand, South Africa and South Korea. Well, that's all we have time in sports. Back to Moon for more updates.
Thank you, Anand, for that. And now it's time for our next segment, Live Prime, where we bring you stories from the world of art, culture, cinema, fashion, science and innovation. Stories that are bringing smiles, stories that are changing lives. Dozens of fishermen and volunteers in Zorritos, Tumbes, Peru came together to save a beached humpback whale on Wednesday, who had been washed up on shore after being entangled in fishing nets on Tuesday. Using rope and pushing with their bare hands, volunteers managed to get the whale measuring from 8 to 10 meters, that is 26.2 feet to 32.8 feet long, back into the sea. The volunteers cheered as the whale began swimming of its own accord after making it past the breaking surf. Humpback whales, once prized by hunters for their blubber, can weigh up to 40 tons and span 60 feet in length. Humpbacks are best known for periodically jumping out of the water or breaching, behavior that has attracted throngs of people who take to the seas to engage in whale watching. And that's all for now in Midday Prime, but we will keep you updated about the major story that is playing out, and that is of course the Unnao case and the other developments also. Keep watching DD India and DD News. And at the same time, you can keep yourself posted with all the news developments on our YouTube channel. @DD News Official is our Twitter handle, and we have YouTube channels of DD India and DD News. News and updates will continue.